Good evening, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the infamous Sylvia's channel. Please like, share, and as we get ready to do another reenactment of the CardiB Tasha K Defamation slander case. As we wait for our one more person I'm waiting for, um, then we can get started. We have about just 2 more minutes before showtime. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everyone's having a wonderful night. Hope your day was great. Again, those who are not familiar with this channel, please, this channel, what we do here, we do a lot of reenactment of different cases. We concentrate on the celebrity cases, and we're for the social justice, because a lot of time our cases, people of color cases, are not really portrayed in the right way. So what we try to do is bring the whole picture, the whole case to you guys. So please share, like, and relax. We're just about 1 minute away. Just give me a moment and I will get started. Okay. All right, guys. One of my persons that was here, she disappeared now. So let's get started because I don't want to have you guys holding so long for us. So I'm just gonna take extra parts, okay? I'll just change the voices. All right, without further ado, let's start. Let's get beginning. Let's begin. We have here our judge this evening is being played by Miss no other than Miss Rhoda. Hello, Rhoda.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Jay.
And our next person would be played, which is Miss Matts, which is Cardi B's attorney. Hello, played by my favorite of the couches, Miss Couch Potato, aka Purple Couch.
Hello, hello.
And my court reporter was here. She disappeared for a minute. Hopefully she'll be back. But our last but not least of all, our Tasha K, played by Miss Perspective Me. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
All right, guys, let's get started. And I'm gonna take myself off, and I'm gonna play a couple of parts. So let's begin, if you guys do not mind. Let's roll them. One second. And we're aligned
24.
24, page 132.
Yep.
All right, guys, we're ready. And I'm court reporter as well, too, now, huh?
Yep.
All right, ready, set, go. All rise. This is the honorable court is again in session.
Let me take a moment and just say this. It's been reported, maybe not, maybe a misinterpretation, Mr. Savick, that at times you've been, with regard to your client, you've been making motions about either keep talking or don't talk. I don't know if it's true. I do know this, that I have seen you during the course of the last couple of days, at times, shaking your head yes or no. I didn't think you should be doing it, but I honestly thought that, sometimes when people talk, when we hear someone talking and we agree with what they're saying, we're shaking yes or we're shaking no. I mean, it can be a natural occurrence. So it wasn't enough for me to say anything to you about it necessarily then. But when I kind of put that in context with what has been reported has occurred as it relates to motions you were making, presumably intentionally towards your client, it just causes me to say this. Don't be doing anything. You should never be making any motions at all that have any kind of nonverbal communication, intentionally or otherwise. So to the extent that this is unintentional, I need you to be more aware of your body gestures so that you don't, it's not that someone doesn't think you're doing it. If I see you doing it, from this point forward, I'm probably going to say something to you about it. But just preemptively, I wanted to mention what I had noticed so that you could be more careful. All right? Let's bring the jury back, please.
All right. Whereupon the jury enters the courtroom. Please be seated and come to order.
All right. Thank you. You can proceed.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
You certainly may.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that. All right. I'd like to take a look at Plaintiff's 549. And Your Honor, this was already admitted into evidence. I'd like to start around 3 minutes and 5 seconds, please.
Whereupon a video recording was.
All right. Let's pause. In this video, we just heard you say several times cold sore B. We're going to be talking about cold sore B tonight, bitch. You heard that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you were referring to my client when you said that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you said since y'all should have had a MFing gag order. Did you hear yourself say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you essentially saying that to stop you from calling my client cold sore B, my client needs to get a gag order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you say gag order, you're talking about an injunction in court, correct?
That is correct.
All right. Thank you. All right. Let's go to 45. No, I'm sorry, 27-minute mark.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
So again, here you're calling my client cold sore B. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Can we go to 3958, please?
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right. Let's pause. All right. So we just heard you say this is for CardiB, right?
That is correct.
And you were referring to the ad that during this video you put up on the screen. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And the ad is for Pangea Wash. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is Pangea Wash?
It is a pH balance foaming vegan cleanser for the vaginal area.
Okay, so you're saying that this vaginal wash is for my client. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, once again, referring to my client's genitalia.
That is correct.
Okay, now earlier we talked about the different kinds of advertising that you do and you receive money from. Do you recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is this another example of a direct advertisement where someone contracts with you directly to place an advertising spot during one of your videos? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in this one, you specifically, as you put the advertisement up on the video, called My Client Out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I'm noticing at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, this also says get 10% off when you use the code Tasha K at checkout. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also receive any kind of revenue for people who then use that code?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so that's a promotion that you do as part of your advertising contract with them generally.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and is the reason do they ask you to put that today code on your advertisements?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that so that they can track how many viewers are checking out with the discount code that came from you?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that so that they can make decisions about whether or not continuing to advertise with you is financially good for them, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so obviously, the more people that use your code with these advertisers, the more valuable you become to them, correct?
That is correct.
And you can then demand more advertising dollars from them as you renew your contracts, correct?
You'll have to talk to my husband about that. He deals with the contracts.
Okay, but generally speaking, increases in viewership and seeing these ads is good for your brand, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. All right. In the advertisement that we looked at earlier, there was an image of my client's face superimposed over it. Do you recall that?
No, ma'am. Can you show me again?
Sure. All right. Can we please go to plaintiff's 583? And I believe it was around the 23-minute and 49-second mark.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right. You can pause. Does this refresh your recollection?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my client's image is superimposed over the advertisement, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you oftentimes use images of my client during your videos when you're talking about her. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's so that people, to the extent they don't hear you say Cardi B or something like that, know who the segment is about. Is that right?
Could you repeat the question? I'm trying to hold back a sneeze.
Oh my God.
Okay, go ahead. Repeat the question. Sorry.
Okay. I said, and that is so viewers, when they are viewing the video, to the extent they don't hear exactly who you're talking about, they know by looking at the screen. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. And do these photos also drive engagement to your platform?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And do you get licenses for these photos?
No, ma'am.
So you take them off the internet, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's look at plaintiff's 651. Okay, and go to the minute mark 17.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right, let's pause. At the beginning of that clip, we heard you say, I didn't give a F about her feelings. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you're talking about my client, Cardi B, correct?
That is correct.
And then towards the end, when you were saying, I did kind of hit her hard, that video got like 5 million views. You heard that, right?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
And you're talking about the Star Marie Jones interview. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're acknowledging, when you're talking about this, you're acknowledging that the video hit Cardi kind of hard. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you say, well, you made a comment in the middle of there about how she was young, and at that age you might have cared, but at your age you don't give a shit. You heard that, right?
Yes, ma'am. That I heard that.
Okay. And are you saying that you understand that if you had been younger and somebody was saying that about you, it might have bothered you, but now you're at an age where you don't care?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure. I said, were you essentially saying that if you were younger, someone saying that about you or doing that to you might have bothered you, but now you're at an age where, as you said, you don't give a shit?
Yes, ma'am. That's what I said in the video.
Okay. And you acknowledge that my client is younger than you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how old she is?
I believe almost 30, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. And when this occurred, she was in her late 20s.
Probably around 26, 27, I believe.
Okay. Then you also said, you said, I did kind of hit her hard. That video got like 5 million views, but she gave it life.
Is that is correct?
Okay. And when you're saying she gave it life, are you saying that part of the reason so many people watched it is it was because my client did something?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
And is what she did getting in your DMs and go online and talk about it?
That is correct.
So you're essentially saying, and I believe we heard you say this in another video earlier, that she should have just left it alone. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
So your testimony is that the fact that so many people have seen this video is my client's fault?
That is correct.
All right. But you've also acknowledged that you've done a lot of promotion for this video, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, if we can go to 1140.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right, let's pause. So in this call where you said, I swear I'm just being petty, just to be MFing petty, you heard yourself say that.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're talking about not taking the video down of my client?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. If we can go to Exhibit 649, excuse me, yes, Exhibit 649. And Your Honor, I'd like it if the witness could just watch a moment of this first.
I'm sorry?
Could the witness just see a moment of this first?
Sure. With or without sound. Because if there's sound, everyone's going to hear it.
Well, do you recognize the cover of this page?
Yeah, that's my opening. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is the opening of a video that you posted?
Yes, a video. I'm not sure which video it is.
Why don't you turn the sound down and play 10 seconds of it and let her see if she can identify this being her video?
Great. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that.
Your Honor, I think it's called projected to the jury. I mean, I think it's still projected to the jury, though.
No, we can play it without the jury seeing it. So just play it without the jury seeing it with no sound.
I can see it. I saw the.
So ask your foundational questions then.
Yeah. Is this a copy of a recording you published on your YouTube channel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd offer this into evidence.
649,
Yes.
any objection?
No objection.
Plaintiff 649 is admitted without objection. Plaintiff's Exhibit 649 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. If we can go to 1 hour and 9 minutes, please.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right. Let's pause for just one moment. Who is this? Well, who's on the left-hand side of the screen?
This is an artist and entertainer. She goes by the name of Jessie Wu.
And that's you on the right-hand side of this. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And are you interviewing her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was this pre-recorded?
Yes, ma'am.
So the content in this video, you knew what you said in it before you posted it online, correct?
That is correct.
Great. Let's go ahead.
Deputy.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
Okay. When you were talking with this young woman in this video, and you said she never makes any commentary with malicious intent, and you responded that sometimes you do. Is that what we heard you say?
That is correct.
And were you talking about my client at all in this interview?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you think that that's applicable to my client?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go to Exhibit 606. I believe it's admitted into evidence already.
This is the same video, right?
Yeah. We're just playing a different clip. Okay. If we can go to 1108.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right. Let's pause for a minute. When you said now the baby story, they gave that to me, so I put it out.
That is correct.
And when you're talking about the baby story, you're talking about the video we watched earlier. Is that correct?
That is correct.
The video where you said that my client had HPV and cheated on her husband, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And you said that, so this video was posted on September the 24th. At this point, you were still saying, they gave that to me. Yeah?
That is correct.
Okay. And then you said, so I put it out. I wanted to let them know who was still the queen. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And when you said I wanted to let them know who was still the queen, you're referring to yourself at who's still queen, right?
That is correct.
In that comment, who's still queen, are you talking about the fact that you still have the power to upset my client?
That is correct.
Okay, all right now. So earlier, you said that you thought that the video that we watched, where you admitted that you made up fake stories, and you repeated again that you knew my client was effing someone else, you testified that you thought that was a retraction, right?
Can you
Tasha K,
repeat?
your thing is playing something else in the background.
You can probably hear my kids downstairs because there's nothing playing.
No, I heard her stuff being played on yours. But go ahead.
You hear it now?
Not right now.
Um, can you repeat that question? I got a little confused at the beginning.
Sure. I said earlier, you testified that the video that we watched, where you were talking about the fact that you knew the other video was fake and you put it out anyways, and where you repeated that my client, she was effing somebody else, you testified that you thought that was a retraction, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that was published on September 21st of 2020, correct?
I believe so.
And so several days later, on September the 24th, you're still giving interviews about those videos, correct?
That is correct.
So you are still giving them life, correct?
That is correct.
And driving viewers to see them, correct?
That is correct.
All right. If we can take a look at Exhibit 625. All right, Your Honor, I'm about to show you what's been previously marked as Exhibit 625. This was stipulated to by request for admission 126, I believe.
So the plaintiff moves this exhibit. Any objections?
Shabbat.
Objection.
No objection. I'm sorry. I'm
There
No,
is one.
objection, Your Honor.
objection. Sorry.
This
Hold on.
violates the court pretrial order.
Do you need to have a discussion off the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can we do it on sidebar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I
A
got it.
bench conference was held between the court and counsel.
Okay. Are they switching attorneys, Your Honor?
Yeah. Well, they've been doing it all along. We're not going to do it after this witness.
So the pretrial.
You've got to be a little bit louder.
Sorry. In the pretrial order, we discussed several other.
Can you hear? You've got to be louder for her.
I'm trying. Sorry. In the pretrial order, Judge, we discussed any other evidence where Miss Kibe retracted stories, right? And one of them was Creflo Dollar, and another one was Chris Brown's story. These videos on their witness list has to do with the Creflo Dollar. Your Honor has already ruled all inadmissible. They're trying to bring it up now.
So what's in this video that you're going to ask her about?
There's a clip where she says, if anybody watches Tasha K, I actually need to grab my computer to tell you exactly.
Well, let me ask. Is it going to be about any other stories that are about your client that she retracted?
It's just about her general. She just says, I won't take stuff down. But it wasn't my understanding of the pretrial order. And I have to play this. But my understanding is that we weren't allowed to, well, the motion they made was about we weren't allowed to bring in other accusations of defamation to like prove it up. There was some sort of a pattern, which makes sense because at the end of the day, like whether or not someone actually was defamed in another case, especially if there was a judgment or something like that, wouldn't it would just be a whole confusing issue for the jury, which I totally understand. But the clip I'm playing only has to do with her saying, I won't take anything down. So,
But does she talk about other cases?
well, I wasn't intending to play any of those clips, but
I think she's gotten that in, though.
what?
You've gotten the fact in, I believe.
About other people?
She's just in other videos.
I think the only one that's ever really mentioned anyone else has been the defendant. She mentioned Creflo. I guess that's Creflo Dollar, a well-known evangelist.
And that wasn't necessarily a defamation claim. My understanding was the Chris Brown one that was actually.
Are you in the same category? Those things that just don't do with outside cases where my client made a retraction, none of that is admissible.
I'm not talking about making retractions. I'm talking about,
You're talking about what?
I said, I'm just talking about her making statements that she will not take anything down. That's all.
Well, that's not a retraction, but
It also applies to.
it's close. Akin to it.
I don't have to play it. It's okay.
Well, I mean, okay. So the point that you want to make that she doesn't take crap down, she made that herself over and over and over again today. And so if I agree with the defendant that if it's going to be talking about other situations where people have threatened defamation against her, that should not come in.
I wasn't planning on playing that part because I understand and I'm sorry. You made another comment. The thing that was played in the other video, I disagree with that. Also, you guys didn't object. And frankly, what she said in the other video had nothing to do with retraction. What she said was, I also knew that story was fake. And it has nothing to do with being accused of defamation or retraction or anything else. She's talking about her own habits of putting up videos that are fake.
Let me just say this. I haven't seen the video, so I don't know what it says. If it doesn't include language in it that would imply or state that someone has made a demand for retraction and threat of a lawsuit,
It did not.
then you decide whether you're going to admit it or not. But
We already admitted it. He made a comment that I just wanted to make sure I responded to because
this video
this is not being.
all I'm talking about is what we have before us, which is 625. So if you want to admit it,
Your Honor, you're right. She's made the
Point.
point.
okay, all right.
Whereupon the following proceedings continued in open court.
All right. We're going to look at Exhibit 521.
Before we move on, I've got to make sure my notes are correct. So I've got marked down that I admitted 625, but I don't remember checking it because there was an objection made. Maybe I checked it in error. Was it entered in evidence earlier?
No, this was not, Your Honor. So that's not in evidence.
It's not admitted. It was tendered but objected to, and it hasn't been admitted.
It hasn't been what? No, it has not been admitted, and we're going to move on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're going to look at Exhibit 521, which has been stipulated to by request for admission. I'm just trying to see if it was already admitted. All right. This has not been previously admitted, Your Honor, but this was stipulated to by request for admission number 3, and I will offer it into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
521 is admitted without objection.
Plaintiff Exhibit 521 was marked for purposes of identification and submitted into evidence.
Okay, if we can go to time code 1409.
Deputy.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right, let's pause. You posted this in the late fall of 2018, correct?
I believe so. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and this was what you're discussing in this video about CardiB being in the comments. You're talking about comments related to your Star Marie Jones video, correct?
That is correct.
And I'm sorry, I should correct myself. The Star Marie Jones interview, correct?
That is correct.
And in this video, you said, holy shit, it's really going to bring some MFing views. You saw that?
That is correct.
Okay, so after you published the Star Marie Jones video, interview, and my client started responding, you felt that that helped drive traffic to your platform, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then after that, you continued to post about my client and that interview, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was that in the hopes that continuously posting about this subject would drive even more traffic and viewers to your platform
That is correct.
and even more ad revenue?
That is correct.
Okay, so again, you were also trying to increase significantly the number of people who would see the Star Marie Jones interview where you published Star Marie's statements that my client had herpes and used cocaine and was a prostitute, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if we could please look at Plaintiff 579. Your Honor, this has not been previously moved into evidence, but it was stipulated to by request for admission number 80.
Any objection to plaintiff's 579?
And no objection, sir.
579 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 579 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Okay, if we can look at approximately 5 minutes and 57 seconds, please.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
Can you pause that for a minute? The video wasn't synchronized right there for a moment. But the who was Cardi's side peeing, he works for Atlantic, he's high up on the Richter scale. That was your voice, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and when you said who is Cardi's side peeing, first of all, you've obviously referring to my client, correct?
That is correct.
And were you reading a question?
Yes, from the comment section.
Okay, and was this video on?
Let's do that. Let's explain how that works. It just seems to me that at times when she's looking at her computer screen, I'm guessing that there are comments that are being posted by viewers contemporaneous. I don't know if I'm right or not, but if I'm right or if I'm wrong, you could ask some questions to clarify how that works.
Yes, I was actually just going to. I was going to ask her what platform it was on, but thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that. Was this video on Patreon or YouTube?
I believe this one was on Patreon.
And on Patreon, can people write in and ask you questions while you're doing a video?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that happen live or do they send them in advance?
It's a live stream, and the comments come up on the screen as you're talking. Pretty much every platform has it that way.
Okay. And so what else is on your screen?
You mean while the comments are coming up?
Yeah, while you're making the video.
Just me and the comments on the side. And, in this particular video, we just kind of cropped them down. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then do they come up in a list? Hello?
You broke up, Tasha.
What do you mean a list?
Well, I mean, you said they come up. Like, do they come up chronologically? How do they look?
Yes, as people make comments randomly, they just scroll. They move pretty fast.
And when you say they move pretty fast, you mean that Patreon's system of having comments sent in scrolls upwards as new comments come in, correct?
No, ma'am, that's not Patreon system. This is StreamYard system. It's a third-party app that we sync to Patreon. Patreon doesn't have any video streaming software at all.
Okay, but the app that you use, they stream in and essentially scroll up the page.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
I'm just trying to give the jury an idea of what visually it could look like.
No problem.
And when you said they move pretty fast, you mean that because a lot of comments could be coming in, that the scroll could be moving quickly? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, thousands per se.
Okay. And in order to send you a comment and view your live stream on Patreon, someone has to subscribe to your channel, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And so all the people who are sending you comments as subscribers to you, and you get revenue from this, correct?
No, ma'am.
So people can send in comments without being subscribers?
Anybody can come into a live stream. They don't have to subscribe necessarily.
Okay. So are there any special perks for live streams for subscribers?
Repeat that question.
Are there any special perks or any type of exclusivity that subscribers get during a live stream?
No, ma'am.
And do people have to pay to send comments or they just can send them?
They can send them. It's a free forum.
Okay, so when you were looking at your screen and you said, "Who is Cardi's side peen?" Was that a question? Well, you described them as comments. Are they often also questions?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and so when you were looking at the screen and saying, "Who is Cardi's side peen?" Was that a question that was written in?
That was a question that was written on the screen.
Okay. And so when you said he works for Atlantic, he's high up on the Richter scale, you were answering that question, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And when the question being, who is Cardi's side peen? And again, forgive my language, but are you talking when you say peen, P-E-E-N, are you talking about male genitalia?
Yes, ma'am. Penis.
Okay, thank you. And so the intonation behind this question, or at least as you understood it when you were answering it, is who is my client sleeping with on the side other than her husband, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and this was published close to the time that you published the story that my client had HPV and was cheating on Offset that we looked at earlier, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, can we go to time code 24 minutes and 30 seconds?
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right, let's pause for a minute. Okay, when you said Cardi is sleeping with somebody else, who was the other person in the room with you?
There were about 5 other people in the room with me.
Sorry, was there anyone physically in the room with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and there was like 500 people in the room.
No, ma'am. There were 5 people.
I'm sorry, I misheard you.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. There were 5 people in the room with you.
Yes, ma'am. I believe that day.
And do you know who they were? Do you remember any of them?
You mean the person who asked me the question?
Yeah.
Because that came from the comment section. That didn't come from in the room.
You didn't hear. No, 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 sorry. Not the question. After you said Cardi is sleeping with somebody else, did you hear someone say, you don't know that?
No, ma'am. Could you play that again?
Yeah, sure. Can we turn the volume up a little?
Reporter. Deputy.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
You hear that? Did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
You heard someone say, you don't know that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was that person physically in the room with you, that voice we heard?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you know who that was? Do you recall?
It was either Jasmine or my husband or my husband at the time. The voice was kind of deep, so or Mike, because I don't know who. I don't remember who exactly actually said that comment.
Okay. But it was one of the people who was in the room while you were recording?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you responded, but I do. My source told me that. When have my sources lied to me? Correct?
That is correct.
But you had just published a video that you admit you knew was fake before you published it, correct?
Yes, ma'am. This was concerning a different story.
Okay, a different story of my client sleeping with someone else.
That is correct.
Okay, but you had just had an instance where a source was giving you information that you knew was false.
That is correct.
So, were you being a little facetious when you said, when have my sources lied to me?
No, ma'am.
No, she said, repeat that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
Were you being facetious when you said, when have my sources lied to me?
No, ma'am.
Okay, can we please go back to 576? And Your Honor, I believe, I'll double check, but I believe this was already admitted.
576 has been admitted previously.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right, can we please go to time code 5150?
Whereupon a video recording was played.
So you're showing a picture here of my client having whited out the hashtag or cold sore B.
That is correct.
But you acknowledge that there's many other instances in this video where you went ahead and called her that, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, we're going to take a look at 655. And if we can turn no, don't publish this to the jury yet. If we could turn the volume down and have you look at it for a moment.
We hear some music.
Oh, you hear the music?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you still hear it? Can you still hear it?
Yeah, no, it's just that
Yes.
other somebody mentioned it.
Okay.
It's on you, Sylvia.
No, it's not. I'm not.
It's
That's
Malova.
that's Olga.
Oh, God. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Where I'm at? Line 14.
Correct.
Ma'am.
What was the number?
It's plaintiff's 655.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
Yes, I know this video. Sorry, I forgot you even asked that.
No, no. I was just letting you look at it for a moment. And is this a video that you created?
That is correct.
And was it published on one of your platforms?
Yes, my main channel, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I'd offer this into evidence, Your Honor.
Any objection?
Objection, Your Honor. Pretrial order.
All right. If y'all will approach, please.
Whereupon a bench conference was held between the court and counsel.
You need to be close enough to the mic.
Sorry, Judge. Let's see, which number did you say?
651.
I'm sorry. I thought you said 655.
I did. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I apologize.
655, that's what you said.
Sorry.
First of all, I'm not sure. None of this is about her. Our client, unless she has something specific. But I'm going back to the same pretrial order that we were up here before. This is opening a door again to something Your Honor excluded, which I guess might be retraction or retraction, or times when my client released a fake story. I have no idea what but they have nothing to do with this case. And we're here for
I'm sorry. Is your objection that it has nothing to do with the case?
pretrial order.
I'm trying to find out which provision because I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's talking really fast and I'm not understanding what the violation is.
The violation is you want to discuss a time when my client.
I'm sorry. Can I ask you this?
Hey.
When my client alleged pled to story or make a retraction or something
Redaction.
like that. Redaction or something like that.
No, I'm not.
What are you playing it for?
I'm playing it because let me get the quote up.
Her name is in the title.
Just because her name is in the title doesn't mean that she's not in the document. The clip we were planning on playing, is the clip where it's everything we did on Cardi is mother effing true. Sorry, I'm trying to.
She said that before, Judge. You have played it repeatedly.
You don't get to decide what they play and what they don't. So
Oh,
what's your objection?
oh.
That doesn't violate anything pre-trial. Whoa. Wait a minute. Okay. When I'm talking, nobody else talk, please. That doesn't violate the pre-trial order to have her say something that she may have already said, right?
Yes. But what she's trying to do is introduce the entire exhibit, which has things in it that do violate the pretrial order.
Well, it is problematic if there's things in it that aren't admissible, and that only becomes an issue if the jury wants to see it. But what's going to happen is if they want to see it again, and honestly, I don't think they are going to want. I think at the end of the trial, the jury is going to decide what they believe. Do they think that she committed defamation? Yes or no. Do they think that the plaintiff was damaged? Yes or no. And I think they're going to have to look back at the videos to make that decision. And you'll both have the availability to play parts of the videos that have been admitted and play before the jury to do that again during your closing if you want. You only have so much time. So you have to make those decisions. But we're not going to send out the whole videos to them. They're going to have to ask us what they want played, if they want it played again during jury deliberations, and we're only going to play the stuff that's been specifically given to them before, which means play for them before, okay?
Okay. All right.
Your Honor, that's why I've been calling out the time codes. And I'm not going to show other parts of the video and list all of her videos. She talked about a lot of different things, and we've been trying to keep it focused on the portions that.
All right. So you still have an objection then?
Not after yours specification. Thank you, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor, I just want to go back to my table, if you don't mind, because I like to make sure the time code is right, because obviously I don't want there to be any miss.
Okay.
Whereupon the following proceedings continued in open court and there was a brief pause.
Your Honor, if you could just indulge us for one moment, we're just going to check that time code.
Your Honor, is it okay if I use the restroom? I've been trying to hold it.
And
Sure.
she was dancing, y'all. She was dancing.
Did she have her
like,
shoes
like
off?
she had to go to the
Oh,
bathroom, like she
wow.
had to go pee, holding her like in front of her, just dancing. Yeah, she was doing that.
Did she have her shoes off again?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Sure. Why don't we? We'll just take a quick recess. We're still not going to go past 5 o'clock, but we'll still take a 10-minute recess.
Thank you so much.
And then she jump off the thing, start running to the bathroom.
All rise, whereupon the jurors exited the courtroom.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and go?
Thank you.
Let me just talk quickly about an issue that kind of came up in the last hour, an issue about different counsel being involved in the discussions relative to a witness. Ms. Mace raised that question the first time the objection came during the last hour. You can go ahead and go.
Okay, thank you.
You can stay if you want, but I don't think you're going to find this too interesting. You know, federal courts generally ask specifically to utilize a one witness, one lawyer rule.
Uh-oh.
That had already been violated when Ms. Matz asked about it. But so after this witness, the person that stands up and objects at the table or, concedes to the admissibility of evidence is the same person that needs to approach when you approach. We don't have two different lawyers doing it. In addition to not having two different lawyers come up at the same time for the same side. Okay? So let's keep it consistent from this point forward. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We'll take a 10-minute recess.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead, court officer.
Court stands in recess, brief recess.
All right, guys, we're going
All
to continue.
rise.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Nope. It's not all rise until we coming back. Are we stopping?
No, I was saying we're going to go ahead and complete this one here because I want to be able to get to CardiB's testimony by Friday. So I want us to go ahead on and complete this if possible. Is that okay, everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Court report.
All rise.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. I believe the witness had said she recognized the video. I had just offered it into evidence, and that was where we.
You've got to remind me the number.
Oh, the jury is not here.
Yeah, but just tell me what number it was.
Oh, it was plaintiff's 655, Your Honor.
Miss Matz, this video right here, is this the one we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All rise, whereupon the jurors enter the courtroom. Please be seated and come to order.
All right, thank you. So you had a motion as it related to a document or an exhibit?
Yes, I had requested to move Exhibit 655 into evidence.
All right, 655 is admitted.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 655 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Okay, I'm going to play you a very short clip. The time code, well, First of all, before we start this, you said that this is a video that you published, correct?
That is correct.
On your YouTube channel?
I believe so.
And this is a somewhat recent video, correct? Published in the fall of 2021?
I don't remember the exact date.
Okay. Do you recall that it was later in 2021, though?
I don't recall. I post so many videos.
All right. We're going to start a clip at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 15 seconds.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
Okay. So in this video, you are conveying to viewers that everything you did on CardiB is, in your words, effing true. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, all right. On October 2nd of 2020, you received a third cease and desist letter from my client. Is that true?
I believe so. Yes.
If we could please look at P235, and I would just read into the record that it was a stipulated fact that on October the 2nd of 2020, plaintiff counsel sent Kiwi's counsel a third letter. Actually, you know what? Pull up P236, please. All right. If you can, please take a look at this document, Ms. Kiwi. Have you ever seen this before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And this is a copy of the letter that was sent to your counsel on October the 2nd of 2020, correct?
That is correct.
From the Moore firm. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And you understand that to be co-counsel for my client, CardiB, in this case.
That is correct.
Okay. When you got this letter, do you recall testifying that you didn't really read it?
That is correct.
Okay, but you were aware, nevertheless, that the letter was demanding retraction of certain statements. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you understand that among the statements in this letter that my client was demanding takedown and retraction of were statements that you had made since the second letter that we looked at earlier. Is that correct?
I believe so.
And you understood that that included that you take down or retract statements that my client was effing herself with beer bottles.
No, ma'am. I wasn't sure on what actual statement.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'd offer this. Did I move this in?
Is this, I'm confused. Is this 235 or 236?
This is 236, Your Honor.
Any objection?
Sabat.
No objections, sir.
236 is admitted.
Thanks.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 236 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Before I start reading from it, can you go to the next page? Have you ever seen this before?
Something similar to it. The first one you showed earlier, I believe, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
But you understand, you understood this to be a list of the statements that my client was demanding retraction of. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you remove any of these from your YouTube channel, Twitter, or any other social media platform?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you issue any retraction or repudiation?
No, ma'am.
And do you recall testifying that you didn't really look at the statements that were being asked for you to retract because you had no intention of retracting them?
That is correct.
All right. And you also recall testifying that regardless of the reason behind any particular statements, you gave testimony that you weren't taking the videos down, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And do you also recall testifying that you didn't really go through them? I just told you, Olga, to, quote, to tell you guys to F off?
Is that a question? Sorry.
Yes. Do you recall giving that testimony during your deposition in this case?
That is correct.
That's the testimony you gave, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Could we look at plaintiff 325? Okay, have you ever seen this before?
I don't remember. No, ma'am.
Do you see at the top of the screen it says unwind Tasha K? Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a comment you posted?
Below, under the, what does it say? Realtor Tasha Mack?
At the very top, and then, yes, in the middle as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are two comments that you posted on Instagram under your Unwind Tasha K handle, correct?
That is correct.
And you authored those, correct?
I'm sorry. Say that again?
You authored those. You wrote them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd offer this into evidence. Plaintiffs 325.
Any objection?
No, sir.
325 is admitted.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 325 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Okay. And in the middle of, well, the first comment, it says, unwind Tasha K. I'm serious. You see that, correct? And then there's a comment by someone, Real Tortoise Shamak. You see that?
That is,
Real
yes, ma'am.
Okay. That is, okay. And that comment is talking to you about your coverage of my client, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you respond to that comment by saying, I don't like the bitch, when you're done with this lawsuit, I will go back to being fair. Do you see that?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Now, do you recall giving testimony during your deposition that you agreed that you have posted highly offensive things about my client?
That is correct.
You admitted that during your deposition, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you also admitted during your deposition that you have targeted my client in a lot of your videos, correct?
That is correct.
And you were also asked whether or not you would describe what you've done as hating on a person. Do you remember that?
Parts of it. Can you phrase the question for me, please?
Oh my
Well,
God.
why don't we just take a look at your deposition testimony? We can go to November 19th deposition.
Okay.
And we're going to go to page 155, beginning at 07. I'm sorry, a couple of lines down from that.
155, line what? I'm sorry.
I believe it starts at line 14, which is, and would you describe what you've done as hating on a person? Answer, yes. Is that the testimony you gave?
You said, I'm on page 155, line 7?
No.
Okay, line 15. Sorry about that. Okay. And would you describe what you've done as hating on a person? I answered, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So that was your testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you've admitted that you were made aware of by your attorneys, of some of the medical records that were produced in this case, correct?
That is correct.
And specifically, you were made aware of the test results for the herpes test, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and you also have admitted that you are aware and you've seen articles in my client's public statement saying that she's not the person in the beer bottle video, correct?
That is correct.
And that you don't know how that video was put together or verified or anything else, correct?
That is correct.
and you don't know if it's actually her in it, correct?
That is correct.
And you've also admitted to receiving at least 3 separate takedown requests, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and yet again, all the videos that we've watched today with the statements that my client has alleged are defamatory in them are still up, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
To this day.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we please look at plaintiff's 269? Okay, have you ever seen this before?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a copy of a Twitter post that you authored?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was posted on March 24th of 2019.
Yes, ma'am.
And that would have been days after this lawsuit was filed. Is that correct?
I believe so.
I'll just remind you that it was stipulated that this lawsuit was filed on March 21st of 2019.
That is correct.
Okay, and I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'd offer this in evidence.
No objection.
This is 269.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's admitted without objection.
Deputy.
Upon point. Go ahead.
Whereupon plaintiff's exhibit 269 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
All right. So in this post, you have said all videos are live and will stay live until a judge orders them down, correct?
That is correct.
And that testimony you've given earlier today, that you've made that statement and statements to that effect many times, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you said, let's suit up and let the white folks decide. Do you see that?
Ooh.
Yes, ma'am.
So again, in the post, you're publicly proclaiming that you're not going to take down the videos until there's a verdict or an order ordering you to do so, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You've published some additional very recent posts continuing to call my client Herpes B. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Long after you acknowledge that you were aware of the medical records, correct?
This is correct.
Okay, can we please pull up plaintiff's 987? Have you ever seen this before?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this a copy of a post you made on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you authored this and posted it on your channel, correct?
That is correct.
And the date of this is November 8th of 2021.
That is correct.
Your Honor, I'd offer this into evidence.
No objection.
P-987 is admitted.
Plaintiff's exhibit 987 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
All right. In this, you said, we live tonight at 10:30 Eastern, 3:30 a.m. UK. You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you said, I apologize for the lateness. However, my say has been full. I'm sure that's day. And then you said, we got major wine tonight on Miss Herpes B. You see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And again, this is Herpes B as referring to my client, correct?
Yes, ma'am. CardiB.
And you posted this on November 8th of 2021.
That is correct.
Okay. You also posted this on Twitter at that time. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And if we could please pull up plaintiff's 999. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a true and accurate copy of the Twitter post of what we were just looking at from November the 8th of 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'd offer this into evidence.
Any objection?
No, sir.
P-999 is admitted.
Whereupon Plaintiff's Exhibit 999 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
All right. So this is the same message that we just was looking at that you posted on Twitter, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And again, you're calling my client Miss Herpes B.
That is correct.
All right. If we can please look at plaintiff's 1000. All right. There's two posts on this, the second one and the fourth one. Have you ever seen those before?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. And is that your handle on Instagram?
Yes, ma'am.
And you posted those posts on Instagram, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd offer these into evidence.
Objection, Your Honor. Inadmissible hearsay.
I'm sorry. What's the objection?
Inadmissible hearsay.
You've got to talk a little slower, a little louder.
I'm sorry, Judge. Inadmissible hearsay.
Well, I'm assuming that the plaintiff is not seeking to admit it for purposes of the comments made by others, but comments made by the defendant. Is that correct, Ms. Mass?
No, we're not seeking to introduce any of the other comments as truth. One is a question the defendant answers, and then the other one is just a statement.
So the objection is overruled. The document is admitted. The comments of the defendants are comments that are relevant to the case. Comments or statements made by some other party is not admitted for purposes of the truth of the matter, and the court should disregard any implication about the truth of what someone else may have said that's not in here, not in court to testify to those facts.
Thank you, Judge.
So P-1000 is admitted.
Whereupon Plaintiff's Exhibit 1000 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Do you recognize these as comments to the Instagram version of the post we were just looking at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because you referred to my client in that post also as Miss Herpes B, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
All right, and you were asked, Miss Herpes, who is that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you responded, well, can you read your response into the record?
I put child CardiB.
And you're referring to my client, CardiB, correct?
CardiB. That is correct.
All right. Then in response to another comment partway down the page, you responded, F Cardi.
That is correct.
Okay. So this also would have occurred at or around November of 2021, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Did you later delete the F Cardi comment?
I'm not sure. Sometimes my comments get reported, so they'll disappear. But it depends. If I make an error writing, then yes, I'll delete and rewrite it. But as far as deleting what I said is what I said.
Oh,
Dang.
Wow.
do you recall deleting this particular comment?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So if it were no longer up, it would have been because it got reported?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
Okay. And just so the jury understands, when you say it got reported, you mean that other users can report comments to Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform we're talking about for violation of their rules or community standards, correct?
That is correct.
And so you said that sometimes your comments get reported for violation of those standards?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is it your understanding that this comment got deleted for violation of those standards?
I'm not sure. It may be still there, just buried in the comments because, I mean, the comments are so deep.
Okay, let's look at plaintiff's 986. Have you ever seen this before?
I believe so. I didn't even get it. I'm sorry, no hesitation, huh? It looks like a comment from my YouTube channel, a community tab.
And specifically, I'm talking about the second thing down. Is that your handle?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that indicate your comment right there at the second line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you authored that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Your Honor, I'd offer this into evidence.
Your Honor, objection for hearsay.
All right. So same ruling as before. The document, which is plaintiff 986, is admitted. The jury should not consider any comments made by any person who is not in court to testify. And so they're not admitted for the truth of the matter asserted therein. The jury can consider the comments attributable to the defendant for whatever purpose that the jury sees fit.
Whereupon plaintiff's exhibit 986 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Were these comments, is it your understanding these were also in response to the YouTube version of the Miss Herpes B post that we were just looking at from November?
I'm not sure. I've had so many posts that said herpes B. So I don't know where you took this comment from.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. And your post was responding to a question. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
So the question was, are you even supposed to call her herpes B? LOL. And you responded, I am.
That is correct.
All right, Your Honor, could I have a quick sidebar with you?
I'm sorry?
Could I have a quick sidebar?
Sure.
Deputy.
A bench conference was held between the court and counsel.
I think I'm almost done. I think the only thing I could just end, but I think I'm pretty much finished.
Why don't you just review your notes and see?
Okay, yeah, that would be great. I just want a few minutes to make sure.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, Judge.
What does he appreciate? I mean,
Whereupon the following proceedings continued in open court.
wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving plaintiff's counsel just a few moments to look at her notes to determine if she has any other questions or not. So if you'll just sit for just a minute or two, we'll be back to you in just a few minutes. We're going to end at 5 o'clock, no matter what.
Brief recess.
I don't have anything further for this witness at this time, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end for the day. I want to remind you of our schedule. We're going to meet tomorrow. If you return to be in the jury deliberation room by 9:30, hopefully we can start as soon as everyone is present. We're not going to meet on Friday. I told you I had a medical situation that I needed to accompany my wife to for an exam. And Monday is a federal holiday, Martin Luther King Day. Great day. And I hope you'll be able to celebrate. I understand it's forecasted that we could have bad weather here, and that's a relative term. Plaintiff's counsel may not think it's too bad, but for us, it's bad. And so there may be some frozen weather on Sunday, but everything I understand right now is that, this is Georgia. And so we'll know by Monday. We will not be meeting Monday anyway. Of course, if I'm wrong about that, if the weather forecasts are wrong, or this trial will last another week or so we could have another round in there somewhere else. Here's the policy I follow on whether we would meet or not. If any school in any of the counties in which you live or that you would have to pass through to get here are closed, then because, and of course, schools don't close anymore. Since COVID, they all just go digital. But if their buses aren't running, then they've made a decision that they think that travel could be dangerous, particularly for Southerners who aren't experienced in driving in it. And so if that is the case, then we would not meet. We're not going to make you, I don't know where you all live necessarily, and whether you live on a hill or a valley or whatever. I'm not going to make you drive in a dangerous situation to get here. We will also let you know that. But that's what you could expect, is that if it's inclement weather, probably the furthest county is someone from Woodstock. Anybody from Cherokee County on the jury? Yeah, I thought we had one. Then you would have to come a long way, and then you're further north than anyone else. So probably Cherokee County Schools is a pretty good prediction about whether we would meet or not. But whatever we're supposed to have Sunday, I think by Monday afternoon, it would be fine. And so we should be able to meet back on Tuesday. But we'll have a full day tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you leave your notes in the jury deliberation room, and we'll see you in the, if you leave your notes in the jury deliberation room, and we'll see you in the morning. Thank you.
All rise. Whereupon the jury exits the courtroom.
You can step down if you like.
Witness.
Tasha?
Tasha left before the judge let her go.
I'm sorry. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about what to expect tomorrow relative to the defendant's questioning of your client. Do you intend to go forward tomorrow? Do you intend to just defer until it's your case in chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Mass, if you can kind of give me an indication of what witnesses or how many witnesses you will have tomorrow. I just want to make sure we have a full day understanding that we will be breaking tomorrow for the weekend.
I think we will probably have 2 witnesses tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So just be sure that you can feel the day is my only.
Understood, Your Honor, completely.
In that regard, all right. Well, anything else we need to talk about before the morning?
Not from us, Your Honor.
All right. We'll see you all I'll be here at 9. If you have something to talk about, then let Ms. Lee know. Otherwise, we'll convene at 9:30.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Matz.
I said thank you, Your Honor.
All rise. Court stands in recess, whereupon the proceedings are adjourned at 4:58 p.m. and seen.
Good job, everybody. Hey. All right, guys, it's time for our little question and answer moment. Anybody have any question of what we have read thus far?
No.
Somebody said you put the stank on it, Sylvia. You tried to put the stank on it.
Hey, I remember him having a fit. I mean, he was like really upset, and he was just talking really fast. I wish I could show my face, right?
Wow.
Well, tomorrow, guys, we got a treat. Schechner, Kibi's husband, is going to be played by not only Mr. Dennis Byron.
Yes.
He's gonna play that part tomorrow, y'all. So be ready for it.
All right, all right.
Sylvia, make sure you send me the rest of the
I'm sending it now to you guys for tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So am I on break? Because I mean, it's no more Tasha K for a second, right?
You're good.
I'm doing. So if you need me to do, another role, then you let me know.
And in fact, on Friday evening, we have an authentic Dominican playing CardiB
Oh wow.
Ooh.
with the accent and all.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we want to really make sure people feel it in there, So she's going to be studying Cardi. She's been watching Cardi's video on how Cardi speaks, so she's going to be doing that.
Hey.
This should be good.
She's been doing it, so we're going to really get into the role because we want to get you guys to feel what happened. Any questions from the audience, from the chat? Any questions, guys? And she's gonna even do the crying and all too.
Oh wow.
What's about they hope that she
Well-
can make the sound Cardi makes. Cardi ain't do that in court.
Oh,
Does the transcript reflect that? Does it say she's crying?
No, but we know we already gonna cue her one.
Okay.
Wow.
So they love how we're getting into the roles.
Yeah, because now we start feeling it now. You know that, right? Like, because Miss Matt was getting in there today.
Oh, she sure was.
Yeah, I'm sick of Tasha.
I said what I said.
I said what I said.
I was like, oh, I'm about to buck on you, girl.
I know Miss Mass was. I'm sure she was at the point where she was saying, "Thank you for saying that, bitch." Oh, I'm sorry.
Right. She was like, "Oh, what? Really? Did you say that? Okay."
All
That
right.
I didn't even need to ask any more questions because you just gave me everything I needed there.
Mm-hmm.
But one part that I highlighted for myself to go over was when the judge said, what did he say? Disregard any implications about the truth of what someone else may have said that is not here in court to testify to those facts. And that brought me back to that R. Kelly section where they let that video be shown, but the person was not there in court to testify to those facts.
I thought about the same thing.
The judge said that twice because this was page 181, but then further down when Sabac objected again, the judge reiterated.
Yep. I'm telling you, I was thinking the same thing. Is that perspective? I was thinking.
I'm like, that meant they wasn't supposed to bring that mess in, but the judge did not forbid it. I see you. I see you, Judge Donnelly. I'm just saying.
What you reading, Sylvia?
Judge Donnelly.
Yeah.
We got on R. Kelly that fast, Sylvia.
Oh, okay. Because I was talking to my daughter, and I'm like,
we was talking about how when perspective was saying about how when the judge say it again, perspective.
I will. Let me go back to line 16. Sylvia, you gonna make me repeat all that good stuff? All that good stuff I just put out.
Right.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't need to.
Oh, okay. Let's see. The same stank Ike Turner told Tina to put on the song he wrote. Oh. Kim said she was
put the stank on.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. I don't know how Miss Matt held her composure on some of this because
I finally got to say a bad word. It was penis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, penis.
Yeah, right.
I'm all excited. I got to say one word.
You couldn't wait to say that.
I tell you.
Not peen, but penis.
That is, woo. I don't even know what to say. It's like she was taking this as, whatever.
It was a joke for her.
She really thought
I honestly think she had the right. I think she thought she had the right, and she just took the right too far.
She thought
took
she
it
was
left.
gonna win because she had that what did she have? Oh, something about what the tape or something what CardiB was saying, cussing those people out and saying that stuff that was gonna be some stuff that they can use against her. And she's talking about the other. So she just thought she had it in a bag.
Mm-hmm. And especially when we haven't got to that.
I mean, but if people were listening to Sylvia, they already should know. You just reenacting what was already, but they won't listen to her. Sylvia,
That is true still. Everybody should go back and watch the videos.
Sylvia said all of this. That's how we know
Yep.
it already. We don't even have those parts of the transcript, but we know it because of what Sylvia said.
Yep.
And they were listening.
I said she has been vindicated for sure.
Right on top. It was right on point.
I just wanted to prove myself, you know.
Yep.
Anyone in the chat who wants to go back and watch those videos, they're up, and then you can come watch the transcripts.
Yep.
So you can see verbatim.
It always brings us back to it.
Yeah.
Every single thing that we said, every single thing we said was actually what happened.
Yep.
Dorothy calling me Miss Couch.
Let's see Dorothy in here.
Oh, did y'all see the court TV thing on Mr. Kelly?
I missed it. I've been looking for it. I need a link.
Somebody
Sharon played it.
That's okay. Okay. She said, yeah, she played it, and they didn't do a good job.
They never do.
It was kind of like, like they didn't want to say it because they kept on throwing back. Even though she put in that motion, but he has a Chicago. Okay, they kept throwing that in there. He's always, and then kept.
You know what station that reported on it? What's the what are they called? B&C?
Yes.
The black ones. They need to say something too. What is wrong with these networks? They only want to report the negative.
I'm telling you.
Remember, they were told that if they put anything out about R. Kelly, that they were not going to get paid.
I'm telling you, the day before they did that, I had just went on Court TV and I asked them, why y'all not saying that? And then they put that out there the next day. I had just said that to them. I'm like, why y'all not talking about the motion that Miss Bojane put out? Because they was talking about the what's her name lady.
What do you mean they won't get paid? So what? They're gonna miss a paycheck? That's illegal.
Stuff out there, y'all should be able to come back and
probably get suspended. Sylvia, there's a question in your chat.
Okay, it says, was the male attorney any better than Olga?
Did he sound like it?
Half the time, the people didn't understand what he was saying. He was talking so fast, and they were trying to figure out what he was saying in his words.
Right, and that's crazy. But when she was like, I want to look over it, and the judge was like, okay, and then he said, I appreciate it. I'm like, what does he appreciate? I mean, he didn't.
It wasn't his request.
Right. He was excited, y'all. He was excited. He was in a federal trial.
The judge seemed a little bit frustrated with his objections. Yeah. Like they were silly.
Yeah. Like what? Sorry.
What are you objecting to?
Right. What the what?
What are you talking about?
Ooh,
remember when the judge had to check both of them switching up like that?
Okay, yeah, come on. How do you not know?
I never seen no lawyers switch up like that. You couldn't even do that.
They don't have much experience in federal court.
So did Miss Matz do the entire case?
Yes.
No. Schechner's going to be interviewed by. Oh, we do need a male. Hold on, I forgot about that. Hold on.
Okay.
It's going to be Miss Matz is not the one who interviews him, who did his cross examination. It was Andrew.
I like that.
Andrew did his cross examination.
We need two males.
Yeah.
Don't change the subject. You're totally wrong. Totally wrong about what?
Don't change the subject. You're totally wrong.
Well, these people come up with all kinds of stuff.
Also, Sylvia, remember what I was talking about earlier? We were talking about the Minnesota. Yeah. I went back to see if I can find it. I can't find it anywhere. Look at
We
she.
gotta, we gotta
Did
find
anybody
it.
find it?
We'll find
Wait,
it.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
I don't know perspective you heard
Minnesota.
earlier about the Minnesota
Yeah.
you said 6 months?
Oh, I kept on asking Tamiria
That's me.
for
Yeah.
yeah, okay. For the source in the chat. I was looking.
I
I was
don't know
like,
where I can I don't know where
We'll go find it, y'all.
right.
We'll find
I looked I went to CBS, I mean ABC. I don't remember where they said it, but I know it was right after he came out. They said he is, and then they came out and showed her and said that she was dropping a charge against. I'm telling you, it came out. It was on the news.
the moment you find that thing, I'm on. Can I get a
But
source?
Zibby ain't worried about it because she already know.
I not say I'm not saying anything? Did I not say that earlier? I said I'm not saying anything.
Okay, well, I'm just saying I looked for it, but I
Has
heard.
Mel hasn't dropped it yet?
But that's not the
No,
one.
that's something else. Mel is dropping something else.
Where's Mel been? I missed her reading.
Yes, where's Mel? So she could drop this stuff. Dang.
She's doing it right now on her channel. That's why she couldn't read tonight.
Oh no.
She's going on her channel all day looking for her.
Mel, they're looking for you. If you're in the bushes, they're looking for you, Mel.
She's on her channel, so.
Good night, powerful.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you.
There was another question, Sylvia,
Oh, she's not on her channel right now. Just check.
in the chat. Another question.
When Tasha was testifying, how was her husband reacting? He just sat there. He didn't say anything.
She probably run that household.
Excellent job, powerful. Give a hand now to
Yes,
Yay!
right. All rise.
Yep.
She's feeling like the real deal.
I hear the authority in her voice.
Yep. Yep.
She sounds like the real deal.
Yeah, well.
Like they better rise.
Give it a clap, clap, clap.
Uh-huh.
All right, any more questions? Because we're about to end this, and I gotta get these things sent out to you guys. But you guys did an awesome job. So tomorrow, Dennis, don't forget Dennis Byron.
What time? 9.
Around about the same time.
No, we're gonna be a little bit early if possible. Is that okay, guys? About 8:30?
Yeah.
7:30 my time.
Yeah.
I should be back on.
Okay, so I want to put this out there now because I have to take my son back to that dentist.
So remember, you're not on the stand.
Oh, I'm gonna be in the chat then. Hey, chat. Okay.
Yeah, I should be back home by then. That should be fine.
Yeah, we need a judge, and let's see. I'm gonna.
When does Andrew take over?
Now.
Okay.
Yeah, you no, but you're gonna be saying stuff. You're gonna be objecting and stuff like that. So you're not going anywhere.
Oh.
She's trying to get off, y'all. She's trying
You
to.
are not released.
You are not getting off. So
they had some really good exhibits. I mean,
I think they were well prepared.
Home. Yeah, to drive it home.
They were well prepared to reiterate that she didn't care.
Yep. Yeah, it was because even when she was saying, I don't remember that, and she'll go right back into, you know what I'm saying? She knew, like, if she say this, I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm. And here it is in your deposition, and here it is in the comment, and you said it in the video. It's her words. So
yeah, I actually was gonna point out, like, I think Tasha K thought she was gonna play games, but Sarah was ready for her at every step. Like that, some of the stuff bit her in the butt because she would say, "I don't remember. Can you rephrase?" And she's like, "Yeah, better yet, let me play your words."
Yes. Hello.
And then
that part.
It seems like she's very comfortable with being in court because I would never have that lady repeat that stuff over and over.
I would never made that if I would say, okay, I'll take you down and let's offer you apology. I'm not getting ready to go through all that. No, especially when I know I'm in the wrong. That's just foolishness to me.
Yeah.
But okay.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys mañana. Thank you so much. I appreciate
right.
everyone. Thank you, Chad. Thank you all that's here.
Good
And
night, Chad.
Good night, Chad.
Good night. Good night.
Good
Y'all
night,
have a blessed night. Good
fellow
night, Queen.
actresses.
all right, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Night.
night.
Hanging out, Sylvia.
Yeah, just hold
Okay.
on.